Hi everybody. I'm out here in the shop today doing some work on building some cabinets for the bus. Seems lately a lot of the work I've been doing is taking place in the shop rather than out in the bus, but that's alright. I'll show you what I've got done so far. This cabinet here is going to go along the wall in the bus, along the wall that separates the bathroom from the bedroom, and I got some raised panels here on the side. This is going to go along the door side. I've made this out of pine using paneling in the back and along the side where it doesn't show. This cabinet uses a face frame. And I've staggered my drawers a little bit. I've got a bigger one in the bottom, gets a little smaller in the middle, and the smallest one's on the top. I've got some drawer slides that I'm using here. These are an Accu slide. Let's see, actually it's a Accu Ride, sorry. Drawer slide. And it has a self-closing and a stay-closed mechanism. Got a little spring and a little clip in there. And once you get past the resistance, it opens up like a regular slide. But when you get in here, you get to the spring and you kind of push it and it sucks itself in, and it has a little lock position. That ought to keep it closed as we're going down the road. So I'm going to keep working on these and finish putting in the slides. And then I'll take this out, put it in the bus. What I've done is I've made this cabinet very square. I was very particular about getting it perfectly square because along this back, of course, and along the bottom, it's going to help me to make sure that my partition wall is nice and square. It's very difficult to get everything plumb and square in the bus, of course, because you have all the rounded corners and the bus isn't exactly perfectly level. So I'm hoping that these cabinets are going to help me keep everything perfectly square, make sure my doors close straight and true. On top of this cabinet, I'm going to have a wardrobe cabinet for hanging shirts and pants and maybe some jackets and whatnot. I now have completed the installation of all the drawer slides. You'll notice that when I installed these slides, I used a piece of wood here as a drawer slide bracket. You can buy optional brackets to use in a face frame application like this cabinet is, but you'll notice that I didn't bring the slide fully to the back of the cabinet. I left a couple of inches here because I want to have room for the shower plumbing to run between the back of the cabinet and the back of these drawers. So I wanted to hold those in a little bit. And I also like the added support that the wood gives me. Earlier I said that this was a paneling on the back of this cabinet along here. This is not a paneling. This is actually a 1/2 inch birch cabinet grade plywood that I've used here. I'll probably be making most of the drawers out of this plywood as well, and I'll just use a pine front on the drawer fronts. So that's the next order of business. I got to get started on building the drawers, and hopefully this will come along pretty quick. I have the drawers all built and installed in the cabinet. Now all I have to do is put the drawer fronts on and pick out some hardware. Seems to work pretty good. I think I'm probably going to pick something kind of old-fashioned looking, really traditional for the hardware. Kind of match the pine. Well, I looked around the shop and I I got lucky and I found a board that would fit right into that top shelf, or that top drawer. Of course, I made the next two, each one a little deeper, so I don't have any lumber that's wide enough. I don't really want to glue them up. I'd prefer to have one solid board for my drawer fronts. So I'm going to have to make a trip to the lumber yard and get some wider boards for these bottom ones, but got the top one in there. Works pretty good. Well, I went ahead and started the work on the wardrobe cabinet, which goes above the lower cabinet here. Gives you an idea of what we're looking at. The other day I went to Home Depot and I picked up what I need for boards to finish off this bottom shelf, drawers. So I guess I'll be cutting those out today and putting those on, and then I'll be getting back to work on this upper wardrobe part. Well, there we are. I got all the drawer fronts on. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't make my drawers, like a lot of people make their drawers, so that the actual drawer part rests right on the outside of the face frame, kind of like we've got over here in these cabinets. I wanted to put those in because I'm thinking, 3/4 of an inch in a bus, that could be quite a bit of space. So I went ahead and just flushed them in. So now I'll get back to work on the wardrobe. I still haven't decided what I'm going to use for hardware. Still got to make up my mind and get that ordered. Well, I've got the upper and lower all assembled. This is the side next to the door. I have the rod put in. I've got the top fastened to the base, a few screws in the back, and also a couple up here under the front. All I got to do now is finish making the doors for the wardrobe, put on the hardware, and we can go out and assemble this and install it in the bus. Yeah, here you can see I've got the cabinet all assembled. I've got the hardware on there. Really wasn't exactly the hardware that I wanted, but I was scrounging around the shop and I found some hardware that apparently I was going to use on another job. I don't have a clue what I was going to use it for. I can't remember now, but it works okay. These latches here are something that would have gone on a trunk. They work good. I think that'll work out pretty nice. All I got left to do now is I got to disassemble these doors, put on 2 coats of poly, and the upper wardrobe cabinet needs 1 more additional coat. And we are ready to put this in the bus. So that's kind of exciting. I was going to build a second cabinet identical to this one that went right beside it over on this side with the door right in this area. But I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I'll do something a little different just to kind of break it up visually. We'll have to see where this leads. Now this is where we're going to put it. I still got to make another like very top cabinet to kind of fill in between the wardrobe and the ceiling. And we're going to screw that right to the plywood in the back. Get that in there good and solid, and then we'll start on the other cabinet that's going on the other side of the door. That'll act as the kind of like the wall for that door to slide into the pocket. Well, I've got this all in place now, so thoroughly fastened to the plywood subwall. In between the cabinet and the wall here, there's a little bit of a space. I left that open like that because what I'm planning on doing is putting some grate work from the window down to the floor. It's going to act as part of my cold air return, and also along the bottom I need to have some room for my hot air to come through. So I left that back a little bit to facilitate that work. Up on the top here, we're going to have some draperies or something that'll just tuck in between there, so that'll come out nice, I think. And over here on this side, what I'm planning on at the moment is to make a cabinet that matches the base cabinet for over here, but I'm going to have like a little counter on it. And then I'm thinking of doing like a corner cupboard from the ceiling down, so I can build in a television, and then along the space between the top of the counter and the upper cabinet, maybe I'll just put some mirrors in the back there, just to kind of I like the way the mirrors kind of open the space up a little bit. So probably not going to be doing much filming on the building of this cabinet, because it's pretty much going to be the same as this one, so I don't really want to bore everybody and just keep repeating myself. So what I'll do is when I get this one done, we'll come out and we'll put it in place, and I'll let you know how it goes. Give you an idea how this door works out. Works pretty nice. I think these pocket doors save a lot of space.